Sadly, I'm putting away all my Halloween stuff and I'm jumping right back into fall manis because I feel like I didn't get a lot of fall manis in before I jumped into my Halloween manis because I was so excited about them. And I don't quite yet feel ready for the winter slash Christmas manis. I know they're coming very quickly and I'm going to have some content that I'm going to need to do, but I do want to do a couple fall manis before I get into that. And these colors from All Powdered Up were just begging to be used, and I'm going to do a little reverse stamping as well. So if you want to see my reverse stamping process, stick around and I'll show you how I do it. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie, and in today's video I'm going to be using All Powdered Up colors, and I got them from her previous release, not the one that she just had, and I've been dying to use these colors and I thought it'd be fun to pair them together. So I have Get a Mauve On, I Yam What I Yam, and Maize I, and I absolutely love that her names are always these great puns. And for my liquids, I'll be using my dip liquid set from Gigis Custom Dips. Jen, the owner of All Powdered Up, recently teased that she may be releasing her own set of dip liquids soon, and I am definitely curious, so let me know down below in the comments if she does release dip liquids, if you want to see a video on first impressions of those, because you know I love trying new liquids. Anyway, I started dipping with my first color, which is Get a Mauve On, which is a beautiful mauve color with just a very slight shimmer to it. It's so beautiful. I wanted to use it on all my fingers, but because of the other colors, I'm just going to use it on my index finger. And I am pouring over, but that's only because the jars are so full. Per my normal process, I do 2 layers of this color, but I'm only going to show you one because I really want to get into the reverse stamping. The next color I'm going to be using is I Yam What I Yam, and this is the perfect name because when I see this color, I literally think of sweet potatoes. It's like the perfect rusty fall color, and it's going to go on my middle finger and ring finger, and this is actually going to be the base for my stamping. This isn't the typical type of color that I normally gravitate to, but I try to push myself out of my comfort zone and buy some colors that I don't typically wear, just to kind of change it up and make sure that I'm doing something a little bit different. But of course, that'll never stop me from buying up all the purples I can get my hands on. I did my second dip off camera, but really both Get a Mauve On and I Yam What I Yam were really full coverage in one dip. I just did the second layer for a little more thickness. So now I'm moving on to Maize I, which was really the inspiration for this mani. And this one is such a beautiful glitter. Well, I call it a glitter, but I don't think it's really a glitter. It more has shard pieces in it, but the colors in here are so gorgeous. So it's kind of a blend of rust colored, and I feel like there's some gold and some blue green. There might be some like iridescence to it. I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but just so beautiful to look at. And I like that the shard pieces are really small, so it makes it really easy to work with as well. So this is going to go both on my pinky and my thumb, and same as my normal process, I'm going to be doing 2 layers of this as well. Before my dip base completely dries, I want to make sure that all the shard pieces are laying down flat. So I'm just very lightly patting them down, making sure everything is laying flat because I don't want to file through them. And I mean, just look at how gorgeous this is. It is so unique. While I don't mind doing a little extra work for gorgeous glitters like chunky glitters or anything like that, I definitely do appreciate dips like these where I get full coverage without having to do any extra placement because that just makes the mani a little bit quicker. I didn't quite get full coverage with one layer, but I have a feeling that's probably just because I poured over rather than dipping directly into the jar because it was pretty close to full coverage. But because the jars are so full, I wanted to pour over instead of making a mess trying to dip into the full jar. For my second layer, I decided I wanted to lay my finger flat in the shards, so I went ahead and poured the rest of my jar into my Chaos Gemerald by Chaos Concepts. I gave it a little shake just to level it out, and then I am going to apply a full even layer of dip base to my entire nail, and then I will turn my hand upside down and lay my finger flat in. And that gets the best coverage if you just lay directly into the powder rather than dipping or pouring over. So I'm going to finish this up, cap everything in clear, activate, file, and buff off camera, and then I'll be back to show you my reverse stamping. And here's how everything's looking after a quick file and buff. So getting into the stamping, Maniology was kind enough to send me a stamping starter kit as well as a set of polishes. And they were kind enough also to let me choose. So let me show you what I chose. So for the stamping starter kit, I chose this plate because I thought it screamed fall. So it's got fall leaves and coffee cups and pumpkin pies and pumpkins and sunflowers and everything fall. So I thought it was so beautiful. And then also comes with your scraper card as well as an ice cube stamper and then this dual polish set. So this set comes with a purple polish and then I believe the other one is the smudge free top coat, which I definitely recommend for stamping. So this kit definitely has everything that you need. If you haven't tried stamping but you've been curious about it, I highly recommend a starter kit from Maniology because they actually offer starter kits for free where you just pay for shipping and handling. So it's kind of low risk because you don't have to invest a lot of money into it and you can kind of try it out and see if you like it. The polish set I picked out was the Mythos set, which you can definitely tell I had fall on my mind when I picked all of these out because I think these colors are perfect for fall and will go so well with the starter kit that I picked out with that plate. And I just love how safely packaged these polishes are. Like I had a hard time getting them out, so I decided I'll just show you the bottom of the bottles because I didn't want to fight with them. All the stamping plates come with a blue film on top to prevent scratching during transit, so make sure that you remove that blue film before you try to start stamping. And look at all the pretty patterns on this plate. I had the hardest time deciding what pattern I wanted to use because I think they all would have went really well with this mani, but ultimately because sunflowers are my absolute favorite flower, I decided to use the sunflower pattern that was on the bottom. Because this is a full pattern and I don't want to make a huge mess, I'm going to use some liquid latex first. So this is, I'm not sure the brand, but I'll link it down below in the description. I get it off of Amazon. So I'm going to paint it on my skin around my nail. I don't want it on my nail, I just want it around my nail. And so what this will do is if the stamping pattern goes outside of my nail onto my skin, instead of being on my skin, it will go onto the latex, which when I'm done with stamping, I can just peel off the latex and there's little to no cleanup of my actual skin because most of the polish is on that latex. So I do apply it just a little bit thicker just because I want to make sure that it peels off easily. And dry time is probably around like 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of times I don't have patience to wait, but I didn't want to make too big of a mess, so I decided to go ahead and apply this. And Maniology does have their own version as well, but I couldn't find my bottle, so I'm just using this one that I got off of Amazon. Once my liquid latex is completely dry, I'm going to get into my stamping, and first I'm using my straight up black stamping polish from Maniology. So I'm going to apply a generous amount to the pattern that I want to use, and then once I've got enough of the pattern covered, I'm going to take my scraper card and scrape down at a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to quickly take my ice cube stamper and I'm going to gently roll it onto the pattern to pick up that design. And you don't want to press too hard or else you won't pick up the image. So you can see here I've got the full image what I want. Now because I'm doing reverse stamping, I'm going to let that sit for 2 to 3 minutes to let the polish completely dry. Once that's completely dry, I'm going to take my color Turmeric Sun, which is what I'm going to use to fill in the sunflower, and I'm just going to put a little dollop of that on the stamping plate just to make it easier to get to. And I'm going to take a liner brush. You don't have to use a liner brush, you can use a dotting tool, whatever your preference, but make sure you're not dragging the color because you don't want to pick up those black lines that are on there. So I'm just kind of dotting on the polish, filling in the petals of the sunflower. Now in hindsight, I would have done the brown center of the sunflower first and then done the sunflower itself, but you know, it worked out the way it is. It just took a little bit longer just to make sure I was filling in only the petals. So it does get just a little bit tedious because there are so many little petals to do, but it's kind of relaxing at the same time to kind of fill in and color these patterns. And don't worry, I know there are a lot of sunflowers in this pattern. I'm not going to subject you to watching me do everything in here. I'm just going to show you a little bit, and every once in a while I'm going to flip the stamper over, check what it looks like, make sure I'm filling in the right areas. And once I'm done filling in all my sunflowers, I'm going to make sure that I let the polish completely dry before I go on to my next color. So I usually wait like 5 to 10 minutes just to make extra sure it's dry. Next, I'm going to take my brown, which is annatto clay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but I'm just placing a little dot of that on my stamping plate as well. And I decided to go ahead and continue using my liner brush. Really, I should have used a dotting tool, but I had my liner brush already out. So I'm just picking up some of that polish, and then I'm going to fill in the center of the sunflower with the brown. And as I did with the sunflowers, make sure every once in a while you're turning your stamper upside down, looking at it of what it's going to look like on your nail to make sure you're getting everything covered and you've got everything filled in. Now, because I'm working with stamping polishes that are air dry and do dry a little bit quicker than regular nail polishes, I do have to work a little bit quicker, but I am able to do this whole design without my polish drying on me. But if your polish does dry on you, just put another dollop on your plate and just continue on. It's not really a big deal. I just did want to call that out because you do have to work a little bit quicker. I waited about 10 minutes for my design to completely dry, and now I'm ready to apply it to my nail. But because the polish is completely dry, it's not going to stick to my nail. So I am using my sticky base coat. This one is from Maniology as well. So I'm applying a thin, even layer to my entire nail. And the key to this is the dry time. So you don't want to try to apply your design when it's completely wet. But when it's completely dry, it's no longer going to be sticky. So you have to wait till it starts getting a little matte, and then you can apply your design. I'm going to figure out the placement of where I want this design on my nail, and then once I have that, I'm going to press down on the jelly stamper to transfer the design onto my nail. And then you can see there's a little bit of that pattern that sticks up, so I'm just going to kind of press it down, make sure everything sticks correctly, and that's how it's looking. So I know you can't tell right now, but I'll show you a little bit of close-up at the end of what this stamping pattern looks like. Now, I did decide, which I kind of have regrets about, but there was this little sunflower that was just absolutely perfect that didn't transfer to my nail, and I kind of wanted it on my nail. So I'm just removing the excess pattern using my lint roller, and I am going to figure out where I want to place the sunflower. Now, in hindsight, I feel like it made my nail look a little more crowded, but it was just too perfect not to use. Once I'm done with my design, I want to make sure that I'm protecting it. So I'm using my smudge-free top coat from Maniology, and this is also a air dry top coat. I am still going to use my dip top coat, but I want to make sure that I'm protecting it from the activator because the activator would smudge my stamping. Now here comes the oddly satisfying part of peeling off the liquid latex. For my dip top coat, I'm going to apply one final layer of activator to all my nails, and that helps the dip top coat dry, but I'm going to leave my stamped nail last to give my smudge-free top coat a little extra time to dry. Once I get to my stamped nail, I don't want to drag my activator brush on the nail because I don't want to smudge that top coat. So I'm just going to very gently and carefully float the activator on top of my top coat. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles, and this is my Scales of Mermaid cuticle oil in the scent Sweater Weather, and this is part of the Past Vault. So about every 3 to 4 months, Pat, the owner of Scales of Mermaid, will open up the vault of previous limited edition scents, and her Facebook group gets to vote on which scents they want to bring back. And I love the idea because it gives me the opportunity to buy scents that were released prior to me finding Scales of a Mermaid. And here we are with the finished look. What do you think? Probably not the most conventional color combo, but I still personally love the way they all kind of came together. I just absolutely love All Powdered Up. Her dips are just so unique, and I always look forward to her releases, although my wallet is always crying. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know what you think about the reverse stamping process and if you've tried it before or if you will try it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.